everybody. Welcome. Jamie, obviously, sorry, and I'm calling you Jamie. Mike, you've obviously been in one of Alana's groups, so you know her, you know the program. We've done a lot of these calls so far, but a lot of people don't know her and don't know the program, so I've been giving like a long intro, but I'm sure your intro is the best one because you actually know her. She's on her way to the call. I would say one thing that she loves, just to everyone on the call, she loves seeing everyone's face. So if it's doesn't matter if you're eating or working out, but if anyone who can unmute their video, unlock their video, she loves to see, there we go. She loves to see everyone's faces and start to get to know everyone. So anyone who can unlock their video, that would be awesome. And I'm not sure where she is, but she should be coming soon. So how many people are you expecting on the call?
Should be about 50
Nice.
by the time it comes. Again, I think we have 50 people in at the Hard Rock right now.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
This is like SC Party Week, right? So
yeah,
a large majority of our team is down there, but there's still should be anywhere from 40 to 50 people on. So.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll just give you, just as we're waiting for Alana,
Sure.
and then, we gave you obviously a list of questions, which has been our guide. The calls we're doing this week, some of the coaches are asking different questions because since we put that champions page video up, a lot of people are getting a lot of the questions answered. So feel free to use the questions we gave you, but if you have other questions that have come up on your team, use the time best you see fit for your team. I'll just tell you guys, I'm here in the LA office, right? Beachbody LA office right now, but I'm born and raised in New York and usually work out of the New York office.
Yeah, I thought you were in New York. That's why I said
I was in New York this morning and now I'm in the LA office. So I'm just trying to manage all the different calls, but we are super excited to have you guys all on the call. And I've been with the company 14 years, responsible for lots of product development. I was here before there was a Shaun T. So I've been here a long time, product development, infomercial development. And for as long as I've been here, Carl and I've been talking about, developing something that's a weight loss, purely weight loss, really by food-based rather than through exercise. And we've been looking, we've been searching. And I had the pleasure of meeting Alana, who's on the call now, almost 2 years ago. So we've been hard at work for almost 2 years developing 2B Mindset. And we are close to the front door, front gate, whatever you want to call it, and ready to launch. But I'm sure you guys have now heard a lot about the program. So a lovely Alana's on the phone, but we're excited to have you on the call, excited to have you guys learn the program, get the program, share the program when it comes out. So anyway, other than that, Mike, I don't know if there's anything else you want me to say, but.
No, bring her on. We're excited.
There she is. You guys are ready.
I'm not even going to.
Any questions for me, Alana, just holler out to me. And if I'm in 7 meetings, then I'll just, I'll unmute my video.
Awesome.
Thanks.
So real quick, and again, I'm not going to do a massive introduction because you guys don't want to hear me talk at all. So Alana, as you know, has developed the 2B Mindset. I've been lucky enough to be in the test group, which is incredible. I'm going to let her explain everything.
I want to hear about your experience for a minute.
Really? I should have said this before you got on, so it didn't seem like I was sucking up. But no, it's true. But being in a test, I almost feel guilty that everybody doesn't get the same experience. And it was so, I don't know. It was like you were with us in the room talking, and it's just your nature in the group was so not, I don't want to say informal, but it was such a great way of communicating with everybody. I always feel guilty that.
Well, I can't help but being informal. So hopefully everyone will have that experience even when we launch in a more formal setting, because we are running a coach test group, a coach group, May 2nd. So hope everyone's in that.
And that is going to be awesome. And I'm glad that you're going to be moderating it and leading it because for us, obviously we can't make it mandatory for our coaches to go in it, but it's like we are putting it at the highest level of importance that everybody needs to be in it.
Totally.
Because even if it's just for themselves, even if they don't do anything with the business, they need to do this for themselves. So Yeah, I don't know. It was amazing. The things I learned, you think you know everything, and I consider myself a bit of a foodie guy. For me, almost all of my traction is doing YouTube videos with the Instant Pot. So I always think I've got all these cute little hacks to make things. I've got like spaghetti squash sitting there in the background. It's just, and then to be in this group, and it's like you learn all these new amazing things to incorporate and pass on and have it as an actual program is just like, I was like, awesome. So I'm going to let you just go and talk, because everybody wants to know, number one, like who is this for? Like, who is this program for?
Well, we've been kicking off the calls of me just kind of explaining more of my background and story for a minute. I don't know if anyone has not heard it.
Oh, you know what? I guarantee you most of them haven't. So
okay, so I think we should start there. That's like, I mean, I did like kind of do a more deeper dive on the Champions page if you want to hear more, but I will sum up my story just so you have a better perspective of like where I come from in developing this program as a registered dietitian, but really as someone who's lost 100 pounds herself. So hi everyone. Thank you all for being here. It's so nice seeing all your faces. Thank you. And everyone, please turn on your video because I love seeing your faces. But anyway, so I was very, very young when I had to start dieting and losing weight. Dieting, weight loss, being called heavy was my whole childhood. All the conversations revolved in my house were, what are my parents doing this week? You know, what cleanse, what pill, what book, what Atkins, what South Beach, anything, you name it. I mean, I feel like Zone. I mean, my whole childhood like comes back when I hear, all those words, Pritikin, all these things that are now the equivalent of keto, Whole30, like, there's just always something. And I just watched my parents do all these like quick fix type of things and just be so turned off and dreaded by them, because I love to eat. I love to eat a lot of food, and I love to feel free and sociable and like everyone else, not feel like so awkward. But the truth is I really was so food focused. I was completely overly obsessed with food. I still love food, as you guys will know and realize. But really it was my whole world. Like when I would go to birthday parties, all I would think about was the cake and ice cream. I would not think about the fact that it was in a rock climbing studio or that a clown showed up. Like it was just really, everything was about food. And my food preoccupation and obsession went beyond cotton candy at a carnival, and it really started to like take a turn into this like also emotional eating coping mechanism for when my parents got divorced when I was young and we moved around a lot, and there's so much instability that I used food as my emotional stability and kept feeding something that, was really just only making me bigger, not making my life situation any better. It just totally overtook me. And it became a thing that really started getting in the way of me living my best childhood because I couldn't do the monkey bars. I couldn't fit into a tutu or do gymnastics without getting, chuckled at or feeling really uncomfortable and not wanting to go back. I became a cheerleader on the sidelines because I wouldn't want to be on the basketball team and risk everyone thinking that everything's jiggling when I'm going down the court rather than focusing on the game. So it just was completely and totally holding me back, and not only in a, superficial way, but also in a real health way. My doctor started getting extremely concerned because as an 8-year-old, I was showing elevated blood sugars and high blood pressure and cholesterol, which was very, very rare at the time and should still be rare today. And, it was just not okay. So at 8 years old, my parents and doctor actually sent me to fat camp, weight loss camp, as I like to call it. I used to tell my school friends I was going to sports camp. But basically at 8 years old for 9 weeks, I was shipped off to upstate New York completely by myself, had to go on a scale, get weighed in, take before pictures, get measured, wait in line for my pre-measured food, work out 10 hours a day, have nutrition classes, like you name it. This camp had it. It was just like, a real diet camp. And the truth is I loved it, and I tried to make the most of it because I got to go back to school the next in September down 30 pounds. People were complimenting me. I felt, more capable in a lot of ways, but at the same time, I just gained it all back and more, because that's what you do, right? Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. So that became my destructive pattern, and I just kept repeating it over and over again, going away every summer, losing about 30 pounds, coming back and gaining it all back and more, losing weight, gaining it all back and more. And I literally did this for years, with no handle on it in any way, just watching my parents do another thing after another thing, me refusing to do anything like that because I kept seeing how it doesn't work. And it just went on too long, until the point where I hit my highest weight. So I weighed 215 pounds and I was only 5 feet 2 inches tall. So I was like at that highest size, which was the size 20 that you couldn't even get in stores. I had to get online, but even Gap.com and OldNavy.com special sizes didn't go past that 20. And meanwhile, this is at the same time my friends were in kids. They were in 12 kids. I couldn't fit into 12 adults. So it was just a really bad cycle. And that summer, I kind of went with a different mindset. I said, you know what, this summer, I'm going to go back to camp, but literally just as a starting point. I'm 215 pounds. I'm going to high school. I am so done with this taking over my life. And I decided, okay, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. But when I get back to school, I'm not letting this come back again. I'm not doing this again. And that's when I just changed my mindset and created this system and started creating the system through and error, through learning, through growing, through having an open mind. I was told my whole life that we had the fat gene and slow metabolism and we were bigger boned and we had all these issues. And meanwhile, I'd go to friends' houses and their dinner table looked very different than ours. And their pantry looked very different. And the way they were talking was very different. And my family was like, when we go to a wedding, it's all about who's catering and what does the smorgasbord look like and how does she cook? And my friends' family tables were talking about, how that person was and what they're looking forward, who they're looking forward to seeing and what the flowers will be at the wedding, not just the food. And I started realizing like I need to adopt a healthier, more positive mindset while still eating lots of food, enjoying myself and living my best life. And I started keeping my weight off and losing it for the very first time on my own. And then I wanted to study it. So, because I wanted to make sure that if I were going to continue doing this and I was going to make a career out of helping other people do it, that I would always come from evidence-based. I would always come from a really sound and reasonable place because I knew all these quick fad diets are just not. Dr. Atkins wrote the Atkins book. It might sound like he has a doctorate, but at the end of the day, he died of a heart attack. So there has to be a more sensible approach. And I was determined to find it. So I continued to practice my own philosophy while, getting my bachelor's of science degree, my registered dietitian license. I later went on to get my master's degree in nutrition, to really start to learn what is sensible, what is a healthier, happier way, and how can I weave it into my personality of loving lots of food, enjoying living my best life while still losing weight. So I did, and I lost 75 pounds and became an RD at that point. And that's when UCLA hired me. So UCLA hired me straight from there, and they basically said, okay, so we're going to give you your own weight loss program to lead. And they gave me 12 weeks and 100 employees. And that's where I got to start testing my personal system onto everyone else. And it was a very diverse group, just like this one. I had men, women, I had ages from 19 to 75. I had people with desk jobs like secretaries, and then people who were on their feet all day like nurses and janitors and cooks. I had people who could work out, could not work out. I had people with going through menopause, low thyroid, on every steroid or hormone or whatever they were facing. I had a huge group of people, and I also had Italians and Hispanics and Mexicans and Greek and people fasting for Lent. And I had to figure out what is going to work for all these people. So I started testing out this 12-week process, and it was successful. Off the bat, it was about 12 pounds loss average in 12 weeks. But I wanted to tweak it and I wanted to push it. And so I kept experimenting with what are the things I'm saying that are really resonating and being really effective with people, and what's a huge waste of time. What really counts, and what are people just, what's really just trendy right now. And I started really kind of piecing together what works for all these people all the time. And it started improving. And every semester I taught the weight loss program, it literally kept getting better and better. And the average weight loss went from 12 to 13 to 14 to 18. And at the same time, in working with 100 people each semester, in a group setting, I got to work with each person one-on-one while building up my private practice. And I really learned the internal things going on, because people really open up to me one-on-one. And then people would start saying to me like, Ilana, like what you said in class makes sense, but gosh, like my mother-in-law was just such a pain in the butt that I ended up eating that whole box of cookies. And I know what you're saying makes sense, but I can't stop craving the sugar. Or I know what you're saying makes sense, but like I'm so out of control with this, or I'm really struggling with this, or I keep self-sabotaging in this way. Or I'm just such a volume eater and just takes so much for me to get full, or whatever it was. Or, you know, I just don't have access to this. And I started really getting into what are these internal struggles and issues, and how can I keep developing processes and systems to help deal with them that no one else and no other program really addresses. And that's when I started realizing for myself and for others, you know, you're not the only one thinking that. I have thought that. She's thinking that. He's thinking that. And I started taking all of that and making more and more systems and catchphrases and all these things to help overcome these personal struggles. And that's when I realized, you know, as much as like these programs tell you what to eat, and every program leads with, you eat this, you don't eat this, you eat this, you don't eat this, you eat this amount of this and this amount of this. I realized like it's really just as much nutritional as it is behavioral and emotional, and really starting to overcome and create processes and systems to help deal with those aspects that no one else is getting, which is why everyone bounces their way back and always gains it back and all this stuff. And it really worked. And I ended up over 10 semesters teaching there. And after working with thousands of people, I found the average weight loss like doubled. And it went to closer to 24 to 25 pounds in that same 12-week period. And then I had my daughter, and then I had to go back into weight loss mode. And that's actually when I started applying it all back to myself in this newfound way. And that's when I lost my last 25 pounds. And that's at that point where I pretty much met Beachbody with this like foolproof, amazing, perfect system that works for, you know, thousands of people and myself to lose 100 pounds and more, 5 to 200 plus pounds, whatever it is. And then Beachbody was like, this is about 2 years ago now. And Beachbody was like, we like it, we appreciate it, we value it, but we're going to test it and we're going to improve it. And we started our first test group about 16 months ago now, which is like really crazy and unbelievable. And Lara, Caitlin, the whole Beachbody team, we've just been literally now testing it with hundreds of people and really just taking whatever formula I had and optimizing it like you wouldn't even believe. And now we're seeing that same 24 to 25 pound average weight loss in closer to like 8 to 9 weeks, and people are going on and actually losing more weight in month 4, 5, and 6 than they necessarily do in month 1 and 2, which is unbelievable. So it's super exciting and wonderful, and I can't wait for you all to experience it. And that's where we are now.
And it's been, yeah, and everybody's jacked. I mean, it's funny. We have a large UK contingent on our squad. Oh, cool. Yeah. And a lot of them are from a personal trainer type background. So the interest in this is even higher because it's like, ooh, this is very different. How do we, so I think for
super different from what most personal trainers have been telling their clients, like night and day.
But again, and yeah, I'm not even going to go there, but for me, it's like that doesn't always obviously work for everybody. And I think all of us have those conversations with people is, well, are you training for a competition? Or are you just trying to live a happy life? And that's why I love this, is because it's all about living a happy life, which is 99% of the population. So having
and definitely the camp I fall into. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like to exercise. But you know, I've always found food is everything and the exercise is extra credit, as I always.
Right. So now, and I'll weave in some of the questions people had. So who would you say this is for? Because I know a lot of people are
right. That was a great question.
Pulling customers from all over, let alone the massive amount of people who just came off 80-day obsession. And so, do we do that? Who can use this?
So I definitely say this is for someone who needs to lose 5 to 200 plus pounds. Certainly an effective weight loss program. But it's interesting, like we just got off a call with a coach who is in the test group who total skeptic, like total workout, like enthusiast, doesn't have a pound to lose, did not want to lose any weight. And she just like went on and on about She was so skeptical of the program. She didn't think she needed it. She was only in it for the purpose of coaching others in the future. And she has literally like changed her whole relationship with food and her body for the better after doing this. So obviously this is a very, very effective weight loss program, but it is extremely, extremely beneficial for anyone who just needs to improve their relationship with food and their body. They've done, one or more like overly restrictive plan in the past that's caused them to like really not trust themselves around food, or not believe that they, can live a little more free and travel and still maintain a healthy lifestyle without feeling like they're cheating or binging, or that they have to work out extra the next day. This is like really, really helps to just do away with all of that, so you can keep losing weight if you have to, or just maintain a healthy, very, very, very freeing and uplifting day-to-day lifestyle. It's for those who don't want to work out. Like I think it's super impressive that as coaches, you've gotten so many people to sign up for really intense workouts. I think that's really, really commendable. There are a lot more people who want a food first focus to weight loss. Like if you see, obviously there are so many eating only programs, even in things that are beyond silly and overly restrictive, like juice cleanses and whatever. It's like a lot of people are not willing to work out, but they're willing to, change the way they're eating. And this is definitely like the most sensible and enjoyable way to do that. So definitely for people who aren't interested in working out, can't work out, have an injury, just had a baby, or don't have the time or anything like that, or don't want to. And then this is also for the people like many, many, many of you likely, or coaches that you'll know, or people you've worked with that are willing to work out a lot, do enjoy working out a lot, but aren't seeing the results they really want. And I'm a perfect example of someone who was, 85 pounds overweight and doing hundreds of crunches a night because I wanted to look like Britney Spears, and this still wasn't getting there because my eating wasn't in a good place. So it's certainly for those people as well who are working out, do like to work out, but really, need to shed those external layers in an emotional sense and a physical sense to really get to that best place that they've been working towards. So, it's definitely for people who, anyone who believed that they couldn't lose weight in the past will start believing and seeing that they can lose weight with this program. I have to say. So people who believed that they had to stop breastfeeding in order to lose weight are proven wrong. They see that they can, get back to their pre-pregnancy weight while breastfeeding and maintain a milk supply. People who have PCOS. This is such an interesting population. We've tested this program with dozens of women with PCOS, which is a condition that doctors tell their patients you can't lose weight if you're on it. And meanwhile, we've had so many people prove that wrong, prove their doctors wrong, and get to their, goal weights and everywhere they want to be with these different conditions. It's for people who have food allergies, because you can customize it to your liking. We have a vegan video. I know a lot of people go vegan and gain weight. I'll show you how you are vegan, that you can, do this program well too. So it really, really can impact and benefit so many people. And even if right now you feel like you're starting the program with only 5 people or 1 person or just you, I promise you, if you do this program for you and you let it resonate with you and you see the benefits of you, your audience is going to grow and grow and grow and grow. So as long as you do this program and you let it work for you, you will see it's so contagious. And even though you have family members who you thought would never do one of your programs, or friends or your kid's teacher that you thought would never sign up for you, will start knocking at your door. Because as you see from the testimonials, not only people do this and they look incredible, but there's like this glow that just immerses when someone does the 2B mindset, just this like inner sense of empowerment and confidence that's really infectious, that everyone wants to get a piece of.
Are you allowed to talk about the mindset part outside of the nutrition, as far as how, aside from, obviously these are the things we should be eating, and we get into that, but you're allowed to talk about like part of the mindset, like what is the mindset part? Absolutely.
Yeah. So the program is video based. So you're going to feel like you're in like I'm in your living room, creepily as that may seem, but rather than like a 300+ page book, it's video based, because a lot of it really does come down to the language in which I presented, and also just another way of absorbing it. So it does come with additional like booklet type tools that you'll love, but it's really a video based program. And the first 26 videos break down the program. It's kind of like the equivalent of having 10 to 15 private sessions with me. And it does cover, everything Jamie said of like how to look at the food and how to break down your meals and all that. But it really consists of, okay, Alana, but I like to eat more. Now what do I do? And I'll show you my More Shore model. But Alana, like, I want to order takeout. What does it do? I want to dine out. I want to travel. And you'll learn how to travel with the 2B mindset, like how you'll still enjoy pasta if you're in Italy, but how to do it with the 2B mindset so you still reach your goals. It'll talk about emotional eating. Like there is a whole video discussing emotional eating, and you'll see like what are the tools and strategies to help overcome that. You're not going to watch one video, and if you've been a binge emotional eater your whole life, you're not going to like stop in a day, but you will start to put it into motion, into practice of how you will overcome that. Absolutely. There's a video on all the questions that everyone's thinking all the time and don't know what to do with, like, but the scale went up, now what? Or I hit a plateau, now what? Or I feel like I completely fell off, now what? Like there's a video kind of addressing that, and like how you do like really can overcome all of these obstacles and keep following on your journey to get you where you want to be. And a lot of it, there are you can't really put a needle on what it is. Like, there's some graphics in terms of like what to eat and stuff that, you'll see, and you can't read a graphic and change your mindset on your relationship with food and your eating. It really comes from practice, and it really comes from being part of a coach group. So I really hope on May 2nd, you're all part of the group that I'm going to lead, but then you'll see in coaching others, down the line in your future, like it really comes down to that coaching to really let it resonate. Because, what I keep telling people is this program is a lot easier in a lot of ways than a workout program, because when you press play, you're not necessarily going to be sweating and jumping, and having your heart beat like that. In a lot of ways, it's easier because you're sitting down on the couch and eating like big, satisfying meals. But at the same time, it's like it's more of an effort in that it takes introspection, it takes learning, it takes growing, and it takes practicing in order to start to see it to come into motion. So, everyone, like when you watch the videos at first, like you will start to see your mindset shift. Like as you watch the videos, I have this ability to get in people's heads, as I've been told. But you'll see it's really with practice that it really starts to shift, and you start to see like those remarkable changes.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. A lot of people in the group, and I think as far as running a challenge group, and I'll talk about that in a bit, but that's probably going to be the toughest part for people, because so much of it has been prescriptive before, is do this, then do this. Whereas with the videos, I found so many times people were like rewatching.
Absolutely. Highly encouraged.
Yeah, and you pick up different things each time you watch it. So our jobs as coaches, you have to be in this group because it'll help us teach others. And then you'll learn with your people as you go, and kind of have them, sometimes if you realize people missed a part, okay, well, let's go back and recover, go over that. But the videos are so amazing, and from the recipes and just the mindset part, people are going to find that they're going to be rewatching them over and over and over again until they get it, which is really nice. And as you know, don't bite off everything all at once and expect to implement everything. Would that be your recommendation?
Right. And we actually have been working really hard. Like Laura's like sweating. She's working so hard on what we're calling a success group guide, which is like what you guys know as a challenge group guide. We're calling this a success group guide because I'm a big pusher for everything positive. And it does have like recommendations for how, recommended timeline for going through the videos. But again, everyone's going to go at their own pace. It's one of those things like people think like, oh, I'll just binge watch in one day. Like it's not a race. And just because you watch the videos in one night doesn't mean you're going to lose weight faster than anyone else. Because again, like I present the information for you to put in motion to see your best success. So some people are going to watch the first video and it's going to be like, whoa, that's so different than what I'm doing. I want to take my time on that. And that person can literally never see another video and probably lose 30 pounds. And the funny thing is like, I've actually given talks at like as a keynote speaker at different organizations with like just that first video, and like still get messages like, I'm down 20 pounds from that talk you gave a year ago. So, it's like literally every video can enhance your experience and add to it and contribute to it, but you should take your time with it. You should literally let everything resonate. And if you do want to go fast because you're like, that makes sense, this is fun to watch, I'm enjoying this, then do go and keep going. But always be okay to refer back, because a lot of the answers you're going to have are in the videos, and we got them really short because editing and rehearsals and everything was really we were just on our game, fueled by Shakeology, I guess. But at the end of the day, like this comes from like years and years and years of like personal experience, working with thousands of people, research, like, you know, it's really designed in a really good way. So even though some videos are 4 minutes, you know, and you're going to watch it, if your kid jumps on your lap in the middle or you're texting in the middle, like rewind it, watch it again, you know, be okay doing that over and over again.
So from running the initial test group to like running the coach group, did you guys find
I love that question. They're so
different from like the coaches? Because I know we're all I'm relatively new, but there's a lot, I don't want to say stubborn but people who are like, what do you find you learned from running the coach group?
So very different. We ran our first test group with everyday people. Like really, really everyday people who've never heard of Beachbody before in their lives. People who are just like, you know, had a long experience with Weight Watchers, yo-yo dieting, everything. Really everyday Americans. And that was actually what I was more used to working with. You know, really successful, really interesting, lots of amazing insight came from that. When we started running the coach groups, there's such a different energy, such a different psychology to it, such a different perspective. I love the coaches. We found the coaches in a lot of ways were much quicker to pick up on the positivity and like the curiosity, and that was wonderful. So there was a lot of real positivity to the coaches. I also found the coaches by nature are coaches, and so would, you know, really do coaching each which I love, and that was super positive. So those are the goods of the coaches, like really taking it all in, like used to diligence, which I'm not. So like, you know, if you have that personality, then you can do really well. If you don't have that personality, you can also do really well. So the coaches were great in that way. There are a few things that the coaches, though, I felt like had a stronger hurdle with. One is I think a lot of coaches have a perspective that things have to be perfect, and they don't. The 2B mindset's all about progress, not perfection. And I think that's something like the coaches like had a hard time like overcoming, because, you know, they tend to be like, you know, I'm not going to generalize, but a lot of them, you know, like to do things prescribed perfect, and they had a hard time, you know, being a little imperfect. But then when they realized like they could be a little what they thought was imperfect and trust themselves to, you know, have that cookie while still on this plan, as long as they follow like the system for like how to best approach it for a good mindset and continued success, they really saw tremendous benefit. So I think that's where the coaches like, you know, had to like come to. I think a lot of the coaches also had, I have to say a little, like Lara and I were shocked at the obsession with time, of like, I need to see results, but it's been a week, but it's been 2 weeks, but it's been 30 days. And I lost so much more weight comparing it to like, one of them compared her weight loss in month 1 to doing the grapefruit diet, where she only ate grapefruits for a month and she lost like 11 pounds doing 2B mindset, but she lost like 17 eating only grapefruits for a month. And I was like, hold on, knock, knock, knock. Like, please tell me that this has been a more positive experience, like eating out at restaurants, traveling, enjoying big delicious meals. She goes, oh yeah. And I was like, and how fast did you gain back that grapefruit weight? She goes, yeah, in 3 seconds. So whereas this is more focused on permanent weight loss, like once you lose this weight with 2B mindset, you never have to lose weight again. So I think like that's something like the coaches have to get to, because I know a lot of programs and everything, it's always based on the 30-day results and the 60-day results and the 90-day results. I personally am a big, I feel most passionate about sustainability. And I want to make sure that you don't just lose 40 pounds on this program if that's what you have to do, but you actually keep it off by in 5 years from now, in 6 years from now, in 10 years from now. That's so important. And so it's not a race. People do lose a lot of weight. We've seen in the test groups, people are averaging about like 8 to 15 pounds a month, every month consistently. But but it's really about learning and growing, because unlike any other program I've ever witnessed in my entire life, the biggest differentiator I think with the 2B mindset is that it actually gets easier and more effective with time. And I don't know any other program that's like that, in that people we've seen in the test groups actually lose more weight in month 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 and beyond than they necessarily do in month 1. And that is so powerful, because month 1, you are learning it. You are taking it all in. You are experimenting this. You're learning trial and error. What is working best for you, for Jamie and Jessica and Jennifer and Megan, and we're all so different. But then once it clicks and you get it, it just really like rolls off. And you can lose way more weight in month 2 and 3 and 4 because of that than you necessarily do in month 1. So month 1, you can, if you only lose 8, like some coaches were like, oh my God, I lost 8 pounds in 1 month and I lost more doing this. But like, then they go on to lose 12 the next month and another 12 the following month, and then maybe 15 the following month. So I think that's one thing that coaches really had a time dealing with, because that just comes from a different mentality and perspective than you're used to.
Yeah, we can be a little impatient. We want results now. But like you said, the man who's doing all the graphing, you definitely noticed it like more in month 2. He loved doing that. I found that fascinating. It was fun to look at. So I'm gonna bring up a couple questions really fast, just because people had asked some, and these are perfect. Because how far along are you?
I'm 8.5 months pregnant.
8.5 months pregnant. Glad we got this one in there. What now? As far, again, there's a big group of moms breastfeeding and moms pregnant in the test group with us. So what would you say, a lot of the questions we're getting are modifications for people who are pregnant, and then what about when you're breastfeeding? Are there any like modifications?
So, I mean, I'm 8.5 months pregnant. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is a pregnancy program. And I don't want that to be a misconception. So one thing is breastfeeding, so breastfeeding friendly. We've had dozens and dozens of people breastfeeding while doing this program, and losing so much weight while maintaining an awesome milk supply. One coach recently posted her before and after, like losing so much weight with this program, and her sons, and like watched him get super chubby while she's been, and delicious and yummy, while she's been losing weight. So yes, it's definitely safe and fine for pregnant women. You'll learn, like, I have like, it's, while I have recommendations for how to eat, you're always up to make your own tweaks, and you'll learn that. And if you have to eat more, you'll learn how to do that, and you'll make tweaks based on, if you have a more intense workout regimen, or if you're breastfeeding, and you'll figure out that system. For pregnancy, we, obviously we keep getting this question a lot, because I think it's also, I don't even think it's because of me being pregnant. I think it's just a big Beachbody demographic and population. As it stands now, the program is a super effective weight loss program. People literally, like I said, watch that first video, have a few days, and they start dropping weight. So it's not, obviously, as it stands right now, recommended for pregnant women, because it is such an effective weight loss program. However, obviously, there's so much more to this program beyond weight loss. It's also just developing that positive mindset and approach and understanding with food that pregnant women can absolutely benefit from. So we are working on a modification of how to do this program if pregnant, but it currently doesn't exist. So when it exists, I can say, pregnant women can do it as long as you're following these modifications. As of right now, I don't recommend it for pregnant women, but hopefully that will, we will publish those modifications down the line. So, because I've gotten so many pregnant women who really want to do this, and they want a more positive, pregnancy experience and health experience. So we definitely want to cater to that. And we know the need is strong, but we just have to make sure we do it in the best possible way. That's healthy.
Yeah. Because that was another, I'll save that for the coach test group. I'll let the person ask, because there's always the mindset question of feeling guilty about gaining weight, even though you're pregnant. That was, we can't have that. Like, no. I just can't have anyone be in that place. Like, you should gain weight while pregnancy. I've certainly gained weight when pregnant. But it's about, I could even say, like, this pregnancy has been so much healthier for me than the last one, just being stronger in my 2B mindset for so many reasons. So it's something I definitely want to give women. I just want to make sure we have the best approach for it. Age restrictions at all for younger people?
Great question. I love working with teenagers. It's actually one of my favorite populations to work with, obviously, because that's my big turning point, as you guys know. And if I have a really motivated teenager who's really mature, they could benefit greatly from this program. And I really love when they do this program and work with me, because then they never will have to do and fall into that horrible yo-yoing, restricting, noisy world out there of dieting that we certainly don't want them to ever have to do. So if you have a very mature teenager in mind, like 15, 16 or above, then they can absolutely benefit from this program. If the doctor, gives oversight and there's a parent with oversight and everything is cleared from a safety perspective, I definitely, some of my favorite clients and some of the clients that I've learned most from are teenagers, because they're so unfiltered and honest and real, and also don't have this, they're not comparing it to other programs and past, because they're new and have a beautiful perspective, and we want to give them that healthier future. So I definitely recommend, knowing your teenager, knowing your audience, and if you feel it's appropriate, maybe you can do it yourself first before you impose that recommendation. But I certainly see it being a very, very healthy thing for a mature teenager to do. If you're talking about a younger kid, 8 years old, 9 years old, listen, I've been there too. I get it. I get if 1 in 3 kids now is overweight in America. So I understand if a lot of parents don't know what to do about their kid, and their kid is getting heavier, and it's so hard to see, and they want them to do the next thing. I really, really, really recommend to these parents and these aunts and uncles and grandparents and everything, you do the program for you first. You do the program for you first. One of the best things we've seen from the test groups is that when people do this program, they don't have to impose onto their kids anything. Their kid just starts sitting on their lap and starting to eat their food and enjoying it, and developing a more positive mindset and relationship with food in their bodies, and start to slim down in a more organic, natural fashion than having to be as focused on it. And you can really expect that with time. It doesn't happen overnight. If you have a super picky eater kid, they're not going to eat like my daughter does, as you'll see on Instagram, eating broccoli like crazy. But with time, it does happen. By having that positive mindset, it really has that contagious, beautiful domino effect onto the rest of the family. So if you have a younger kid, I just recommend you do it first. And if you want to hop your kid on your lap while you're learning about food groups and stuff, it's interesting, it's sensible, it's health-minded. So as long as you're not distracted, if you want to watch certain videos again and again that you feel like your kid can benefit from listening to, then absolutely that's fine. I just wouldn't put a kid younger than 15, 16 on the program as formally if they're not at the maturity level, and don't necessarily need to. It's just because they'll benefit so much from just those little nuggets that you're going to be sharing with them.
And I know
and impassively.
I know you've got this a lot, just again with the 80 day, but as far as other workout programs, combining this with other workout programs, any tips or advice for us to give to people, because we're getting bombarded with these questions?
Ask me everything, Jamie. That's what I'm here for. Yes, a lot of people are asking about doing this with other workout programs. This is what I can say. This should be your focus. This should be your priority. Because the best thing about the 2B mindset is the more effort you put into this in the beginning, the more effortless it becomes. And if someone doesn't like to work out, they really could just focus on this and see incredible results. And those people, by the way, will end up being your biggest fitness enthusiasts down the line, just so you know. People who do this program who do have no interest in exercising are going to be the same people banging down your door in a few months saying, okay, look how good I look. Now I want to should I do lift 4? Should I do 80-day obsession? Should I do PiYo? What should I do? And that's when you're going to, again, coach them through the next program. I definitely recommend, telling people to focus on this first. If someone is doing 80-day obsession workouts, you would be doing this nutrition program with 80-day obsession workouts, but you would never be doing that nutrition plan too. So all of the Beachbody fitness programs, I think most of them have a nutrition plan that come with it. If you're doing the 2B mindset, you would not even open that nutrition thing. You would be doing the 2B mindset eating plan with that workouts. And just so you know, Lara and Denis, who's the head of FNR at Beachbody, who helped oversee all those nutrition plans, They actually have a video that's coming out, Jamie, that you haven't seen yet, that will be there at launch in the coach office. And that's explaining like what modifications, if any, you should do with any of these workouts. So if you want to like add recovery, or if this program requires hydrate in addition to the 2B mindset, all of that kind of gets answered via PDF and a video that's going to come out with the program, only for coaches.
And this is more a question for me, just because I kind of have seen it, but from a recipe and sharing perspective, can we kind of assume what you've put out on YouTube or Instagram is fair game for us to talk about?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Just
if it's on Instagram and not YouTube, then
yeah. Like, I don't want to, like, some of the like Wonder Whips, like is.
Oh yeah. Wonder Whips are actually not in the 2B mindset recipe book.
I know, but it's kind of, I don't know. I felt like it was like your thing, but it's okay.
I know people are obsessed with them. I'm obsessed with them. I actually have always kind of been making them, but it's really in pregnancy that they came to life. And I'm actually on the board for the American Heart Association executive leadership team. And on Friday is like the big annual luncheon. And I always do a big cooking demo, and I'm demoing the Wonder Whips, and people are going to go nuts. If you guys don't know what Wonder Whips are, Jamie, please post the link so everyone can do them, because I have never posted a recipe that I got that much positive feedback from. I mean, ever. I mean, I posted the recipe and like within 4 minutes, I had 100 DMs of people making them, because there are a lot of things that people have already in their cabinet. So yes, make them. They're delicious. And they're so filling.
That's what I did with one of my Insta stories, is I just sat there eating it going, I'm just sitting here losing weight in my living room. So anyway.
I'm all about eating good food. You're going to continue eating really, really big, delicious, satisfying meals. You're just going to learn like all these different techniques so you can still lose weight. And that's why, you know, even the recipe videos, they're called recipe videos, but I mean, I watch recipe videos and I'm like, wow, that's where a lot of the mindset shifts are going to happen for people, because the recipe videos, while they're recipe videos, are really not like any other recipe videos you guys have ever seen. I'm super like messy in the kitchen, not culinary, like mix a little of this, let's add a frozen bag of this and let's whip it together. And so, you know, that's fun for the mindset, because you see just how convenient and affordable and enjoyable cooking can be. But I think like there are even a lot of tricks I weave into and talk about in the recipe videos that you wouldn't necessarily get in the program, because you kind of see it into practice as I'm like literally around and eating food, which is different. So yeah, you can definitely start by watching just the YouTube videos I already have out on the recipe videos, because you'll see I do weave in a lot of like things that I don't notice are mindset changing, but really I get huge responses that like, whoa,
yeah, I've been forwarding people when they have like gluten intolerant questions. You've got a great YouTube video explaining celiacs and all that stuff. So one last question, because I know Laura's probably going to yank you off here pretty quick. Any tips you would give us as coaches? Any final tips to throw out to help us?
Yes, I love that question. I would say two last parting things that I really recommend to everyone 2 weeks out prior to starting this program. The first is go to a doctor. One of the scariest things I hear from people over and over again is that people avoid physicals. A lot of it because people are so scared of the scale, which terrifies me that people are so scared of a scale that they avoid going to doctor's visits. I'm going to totally change your perspective on that. And you'll realize it's not something to be scared of. It's actually just like another tool of your health. Talk about forever in the future, and that I even just posted a lot on Instagram today if you want to see. Yes, I recommend everyone get a physical 2 weeks before starting this program, because in addition to just losing weight, feeling better in your jeans, feeling sexier in the bedroom, whatever people say they have an experience with this program, you also likely see your health improve as well. And that's been one of the greatest things to come out of the test groups is like people saying their doctor's hugging them, the doctor's taking them off some medications. You know, obviously I don't want to make any promises, but it's a good thing to set a baseline of other health parameters before you do this program, like your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your cholesterol, your triglycerides, because this is really a health improvement program in so many ways, and people really see incredible results. And just go to the doctor for the first time in a long time, just by me telling them to do that, which is a good thing. So go to the doctor. I recommend that. And the last thing I will leave everyone with is mindset. Trust the process. yes, what I'm going to recommend is likely very different than anything you've been following or heard before. And that's a good thing, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. Come in with an open mindset, heart, belief, trust. You have Jamie, you have me behind you. We're going to make sure that you're successful in every way. And, you know, any struggle or internal dialogue that you're telling yourself that you have a slow metabolism, or you're always good on a program until you're not, or that, you know, you always fail, or that you're scared of failing. Like, people are already writing to me that they are excited about the program, but they're scared of failing. And I'm so sad to hear that, because people are, I mean, to self-sabotage before you even learn it and do it is so sad. But obviously we all do that. We all self-sabotage. We all want to believe that, you know, we can't. And I recommend 2 weeks out, just start changing your mindset and believing that you can, because you really can, and you really will, and you really will be successful in this program. When you give it up and you come in with an open heart and mind and you do it, you're going to love it. So I really recommend, like, just get out of your head a little bit and be open-hearted and open-minded, and really believe that this can really work for you. And this will be very different than your past experiences with dieting. And this, because it comes from a very different perspective and approach that you will really, really learn to appreciate. So
I know. I can't wait for them to experience it. We have so many coaches that have hundreds of people already in their holding groups. Like,
oh, nice.
Waiting to, like, most of us are leading up to May 2nd. And then I think a lot of us are pausing till May 14th to actually start, so that
awesome.
We can get you, you know, helping everybody and then kind of follow along. So
highly recommended. And I just want to let you guys know, you know, I'm really anti-jealousy. I think it's like the ugliest trait on earth. And you guys will see that when one person in the group is successful, everyone has a greater chance of being successful, because we can all learn from each other's success and feed off each other's success. So I really think it's important that, you know, you really focus on you doing this program. You really make the most of it. And even when it comes down to like sales and getting people on board, again, like I said, like, even if you don't have anyone who's doing this with you on day one, you're doing it yourself at this point, like, just know this is the type of program that will grow with time. And more people are going to want to get on board with. So, you know, just make the most of it and take it day by day, be present in it and really enjoy it from the beginning, and immerse yourself in it, and everything can pick up from there.
Well, thanks again so much for the call.
Yeah, Jamie.
Good luck with number 2.
Thank you. Good luck with that spaghetti squash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just saw a really good tip on Instagram, actually, that I've never tried before.
Can you share it real quick?
Yeah. Someone said that they take it lengthwise and they slice it.
Oh.
They slice it into rings and they put it on a tray, and that makes the longest noodles.
Yeah, there's a certain way to cut it. I put it in whole in the Instant Pot. So
that's awesome too. I know. I put it whole right into the oven too.
Because they're hard to cut.
I don't know how she did that. She must have had a chainsaw. Okay. Yeah. Be safe. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Have the best day.
Okay, you too.
Thank you, everyone, for being on the call.
There, I'm going to leave it open in case anybody had questions. I know some people did. I'll leave it open just in case we have questions. There were a couple. So again, just remember, everybody, whether you're technically a discount coach, a working coach, a hobby coach, you can get into her private group on May 2nd, but you have to be a coach of some kind. So again, open to everybody, highly, highly recommend it. I just find her infectious. That's the way she was throughout the whole group. It launches May the 2nd. Her group starts May the 2nd. And then the actual app, it's on sale until June the 3rd, because the actual app, I think, is in beta form, and it's only for Mac or for Apple. And it's in beta form until I think June 3rd, at which time the price goes up. You can get everything that you need. I don't even know what non-Apple phones are, because I didn't think people actually bought them. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. I know you guys are all so sensitive. You too, Mona. Everything can be found in the Beachbody On Demand. There's a new nutrition tab they're going to have, and it will all be there. So you don't need the app. It's just for tracking things, probably water and food. I'm going to guess based on what I know. But yeah, that's what the app will be for. You don't need the app to do the program. Otherwise it would have been a bust, eliminating everybody who doesn't have an iPhone. So a couple other questions. Yeah, I know. Well, it says Jamie up there. I thought that was funny too. She kept calling me Jamie, but that's okay. She must have thought I was way older. Yeah, so I think I answered the app question. Unmute yourself if you have any questions. Honestly, I know most of the coaches who've started are getting people right away running their own private group. Feel free, if you're not in the one that I started and you want to be in that one, it's just 2B Mindset or 2B Sneak Peek with an exclamation mark. I think I posted in Crush It. You can add there and just literally copy and paste every kind of thing that I'm doing there for content once you start doing your own. But try it. Trust me. I think you'll be surprised how many people might come out of the woodwork wanting to try it. No questions?